Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Captain Alberto Zertuche, and I'm here setting up at Cosway Pier. I've got one rod in the water, still got several more to go. I just got back from Houston. I was at the Houston Boat Show all day Friday, and late into Friday I stayed till it closed because I was waiting for Mr. Jeff Nugent of Tightline Braid, because that's where he was at, so that way we could go to his shop and check out how tightline braid was made. And he answered a whole bunch of questions and just overly went above and beyond what any business owner in his manufacturing process would do. I mean, it was pretty awesome for us, and I'd like to give a big shout out to them and thank him for that once again. So for me, I was on my last day of the tournament. The last day is on Sunday, but Sunday is my family day, so I'm here on Saturday, and I'm planning to stay till it closes till midnight. So I'm utterly exhausted, but I am putting forth the effort to try and get into the winning place, because I was right next to the guy that caught the winning fish that night, or current winning fish. It was at 43 inches. So let's see what we can get done today.
Gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta learn. I'ma call the whole team.
With what I'm also doing is I am using the Hard Life's Bait and Tackle improved double drop drum leaders. We have increased the size of the circle hooks that we are normally using, and I've been using it for this drum tournament. So let's see how they work in action as I bait them up. Right here I'll be using the fish bites, and I'm also throwing pieces of sea lice and or pieces of crab and even shrimp on this setup. And this is the way it looks when it's all rigged out. They're made with 100-pound test line. We're doing 7/0 circles on it, and I cast anywhere from 8 ounces all the way up to 12 ounce on the leader. And yes, we do have to use surf weights because the current that's down there is extreme. You know, these channels right here, this one channel feeds like 5 different channels once it breaks up. So it's when it gets going, it is going. So we've had several guys comment on why we're using such big rods, big gear, and this and that for fishing in the bays. Well, these channels get 25, 35 foot deep, and there's a lot of moving water down there, and we got to keep our baits and weights in place so that we don't cause a big cluster of rods and lines tangled up. So for me, I like to use the heavy gear also too, because I am in a tournament, and so for me to catch a fish, bring it in as quickly as possible, whether it's a tournament entry or not, allows me to sort through a lot more fish in that time period than it would be if I wasn't actually fighting a fish for that time. Because I can remember back in the day when that was me, 30-pound test, 40-pound test, 20, 15, and just fighting the fish. And man, how long's it been? About 35 minutes, and that was the thing. Now 13 fish later throughout the day, and I got tennis elbow. No, I'm not about that life, no more. So with the heavier gear, heavier line, and yes, even though it is heavier, it's actually thinner than what I was using back then. It allows me to use the Spectra braids, which right now we're using Cortland 16 strand on our reels to cast out, have plenty of line capacity, and still use these same setups for, yes, when we go shark fishing on the beach or on the jetties, on the piers. And as you can see with the fish bites, you don't need a huge chunk, but I like to double it up like that, folding it over, and there you can see I'm using a piece of shrimp on there. And that's one way we've been doing it. The other way is on the top hook we have shrimp, bottom hook we'll have crab. That opens up the door for a lot more baits to bite. Now you can go shrimp and shrimp, you can do shrimp and crab, you can do sea lice and sea lice. As you can tell, normally what I do is I pinch the head to leave all the brain matter and stuff like that there, so that way it has more scent in the water. However, when I pinched that one off, the whole head just came off.
That salt got in my throat. Doing farsi.
I was waiting for my weight to finally hit bottom before I could actually set it. And yep, even at an 11-ounce weight, it takes a few seconds to hit the bottom. It's a real pretty day.
Wait for the day. You already got your camera going?
Yeah. One of the things we also started talking about was trying to catch fish to take home, you know, some slot sizes and stuff. And as many days before, they had been catching good sized keepers throughout the day. So that was one of the other plans that I had, besides getting there early, was to start filling up a stringer. So that way at the end of the night, when the big ones rolled in, I could take home something and still shoot for the tournament at the same time.
Trust me, man. Even if you have one setup, you'll notice a difference. Night and day. Work the line and maintain the reel. So I got this one for my nephew, so I play around with it a little bit.
Still have a little bit of shrimp there. That's bad.
Hey, the shrimp right there, still in the float, right there, in the water. That's pretty bad. It's been there already for 2 hours.
Still warming up.
Yeah, that's one way. You got a hit. You got a hit, man.
No, my line was over it.
You don't move.
Yeah. Where the big boys are at.
Huh?
That's where the big boys are at.
Right now, they're in the fish.
Huh?
You got a trip on that one? No, you don't have a trip on that one.
There's bait fish out there though. Fish bites are getting tore up.
Alright guys, so if y'all are new to the channel, we also own Hard Lives Bait and Tackle, and that's the leaders and weights that we are always using. We also test out all the line gear and stuff like that that is brought to us, that has given us time to actually go out there and fish with it. And besides doing all that, we also have underwater cameras that we also set out. And I've still got some underwater footage I still got to sort through. But at the same time, everywhere we go, any pier we're on, we're all about answering people's questions, putting the knowledge out there, and sharing with them how we do what we do, into everything. And then, and right now, as you can see, the guys that are to our left and coming into the camera every now and again are asking the questions to gain the knowledge of why we're doing it. And then they see our cast and they are really, blown away at what we're able to do and how we're able to keep so many rods in a small area without them getting tangled up and so forth.
Who chose farther between all of y'all? I know y'all have a competition.
The what?
Who chose farther?
I do.
You do?
Oh yeah. I went to a distance casting competition in Kingsville. I threw an 8-ounce weight with one of theirs. I borrowed one of their gear because that's straight casting, no bait, no nothing. And I threw it 233 yards.
You got first prize?
No, those other guys that were throwing 700 feet, so it's like 245 yards.
The others is just regular cast?
Yeah, just the weight by itself. But yeah, that was the first time I'd ever been out there. So I got all my casts were personal best because I'd never did any kind of casting like that. So.
Mr. Kiki Corona, Enrique, he was actually getting calls from one of his good buddies saying that another spot he was at, that they were hooking up the slot drum and slot reds. And since we really hadn't turned a click over here, it was something that was also being negotiated. Maybe we should run out there for a few hours and then come back over here and start fishing for the big drum later once we did get our limit. And, that was one of the things we did set out for was, to catch limits and so forth. So we were, seriously battling with ourselves because we also knew that if we left, there might not be a chance that we could get into the corner later on because obviously it is Saturday. A lot of the other drum fishermen would be coming out and, it's a first come, first serve, guys. They right in this corner, there's 4 benches there that have holes, and the benches are not for sitting down, they're for the fishing rods, guys. So where there is a rod, and so that's the way it works, guys. And I'm telling you, there could be 15 rods there. There's one hole, somebody can go in and cast right in between everything or wherever that hole is at. So normally the rods are stacked up toward the corner to kind of reserve those spots, but because there's a fishing rod in there. Now towards the end, people can work their way in, and pretty much that's the way we work. We work together. It's no way of really guarding the whole thing. It's impossible. You're limited to 3 rods, and then you're also limited on the amount of spaces there are on the bench and stuff like that. So it was just food for thought for us.
To weight in the ground so the line stays like this. So if I cast it there, it'll stay there. See how he got tangled up with that guy over there? That won't happen. So it won't forward. Yeah, we'll walk away.
No, something scared him.
fish channels like here, Packney, stuff like that. Fish like that. I mean, you fish like that.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I got full on the Cheetos that I had earlier.
Carefully. They even have small ones.